Hello and welcome to ET Auto and to another special episode of Target Net Zero, a discussion series featuring industry leaders from India and across the world on the key themes of carbon neutrality and sustainability. In this episode, it's my pleasure and welcome Mr. Mahesh Babu, who has just recently been appointed as the global CEO of Switch Mobility. Mahesh, welcome to the show and congratulations on behalf of ET Auto.
Thank you, Sumatra. It's my pleasure to be there.
Great. Mahesh, as we speak, there is also the COP27 conference, which is taking place in Egypt. And I was, a little while ago, I was reading a report wherein the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres is reportedly said that 3 times more people have been displaced by environmental challenges than war. It's a big, very strong statement, isn't it? In this context, of course, many factors at play here, which is contributing to this global environment challenge, which is right now at a scale which is, in fact, very, very alarming. Transportation sector has a role to play. So your thoughts on how and what routes should we take to kind of accelerate the efforts to kind of counter the challenges that the globe is facing?
I think, Sumatra, thanks for raising this. I think it's important that most of the world leaders have realized, understood, and have been working hard from 2015, where it started in COP in Paris, where India and many countries have committed towards reducing the increase in the temperature by less than 2 degrees, by limiting carbon emissions across the sectors and industries we are working in. So you know that there is a big urban challenge. Almost 55% of the world population live in urban areas, and many of the local, what I would say, urbanization is happening around Asia and many new developing countries, or I would say the growth countries, and hence most of the growth comes from transportation sector. Transportation sector is one of the important sector which can contribute. Apart from, you can talk about industry, energy, and many more what it is. Since we are in the transportation sector, the road passenger sector across the globe is about 41.5% contribution in CO2 out of the total transportation sector. The freight is about 29.4%. So something like 74% of the transportation percentage comes from road, both in passenger and freight. So we can contribute, and that's the reason many countries have taken a target on electrification, taken a target on net zero, and so on and so forth. I'm happy that UK, Europe, and India, all the 3 regions where we are in, have taken a target to electrify, and both as a registration and also on incentive towards demand incentives as well as adoption intensive incentives have been given. And a substantial effort has been taken towards electrification as well as decarbonizing the transportation sector. What is good about is just not the vehicles are getting electrified. Companies like us, Switch Mobility, are committing towards net zero in our operations. Last financial year, we have achieved net zero in our Leeds facility in the UK. We have taken a footprint in India, and we are doing substantial effort on net zero in the areas in which we are working in. It includes sustainable energy to power.
Switch Mobility. What's the target of Switch Mobility to go fully, absolutely carbon neutral across all its operations globally? That will take some time, right?
Yes. The ultimate goal is to get into carbon neutral across all the operations we are in. There are some steps which we need to take, which we have already taken. So it is not just about buying energy alone. I think if you look at our facilities in India, already we are buying about 70+% of renewable energy for our plant operations. So we'll have to look at scope 2, scope 3, scope 1, all that. So we are working on various things. We are looking at reducing the supply chain closer to the manufacturing facility. We are looking at charging through renewable energy. Even in our bus operations in India, for example, in Bangalore, we are looking at almost 80% plus renewable energy being used for charging the buses, electric buses, which we are going to run in Bangalore. So the journey is going to be long, and all that I can tell you is while the leaders are putting tremendous efforts across the globe, there are some challenges. We have challenges due to what happening in the war, due to what happened in COVID. I think it has derailed a little bit some of the actions towards what we were doing. But I would say the overall approach and reach towards net zero is still intact. Most of us are working on electrification and decarbonizing the road sector has to pick up, because otherwise our target of less than 2 degree in this century is going to be really difficult to achieve if we are not going towards it.
And again, coming to switch mobility, what is the target here that even approximately you have set for yourself to go carbon neutral fully?
Yeah, so if you look at our scope 1, scope 2, which we are doing right now on the manufacturing facility, leads have already achieved. So we bought some carbon credits last year. We have the footprint for our India facilities right now. We are looking at becoming carbon neutral in next couple of years. And then we are looking at getting into scope 3, which is going to take a longer time. The ultimate aim by 2030 is to get into achieving all scope 2 and achieving substantial progress in scope 3.
I see. You are joining us from your facility in Warwick, which I believe is also a technology center. Could you throw some light on what are the new areas of what's the kind of technology roadmap that you are working on to take switch mobility, from this point ahead, now that you're on the driver's seat?
Yeah. Warwick is going to be our corporate head office as well as R&D center. We are close to R&D center because we are a technology company, and future technology needs close attention to drive sustainability and net zero in it. So the ultimate aim, there are two important baskets we have to work on. We have to work on energy efficiency. We'll have to work on what I would say sustainable energy utilization to our things. So if you look at EV, and it's about 4 times efficient than an IC engine, right? So the efficiency improvement is very important. The technology would be about lightweighting. The technology would be about using a switch ion software, which is connected mobility solution, and learning from the algorithms and the driving pattern and the application, what we are having in the field, and creating algorithms to reduce net zero. It also does a digital twin of a vehicle, the city, the driver, and hence we are able to achieve the best, what I would say, efficiency in all the operations, what we are doing in the vehicle. The third would be on actually how do we optimize energy by reducing charging losses, transmission losses, and many more within the vehicle and outside the charging grid as well. So a lot of work going around optimizing these 3 areas. And of course, we are working on, let's say, autonomous, working on many other things, technologies, which will be futuristic for our customers. But I think energy efficiency, creating a digital twin and digital, what I would say, algorithms or AI algorithms, which will automatically learn and improve efficiency, and looking at losses in the transmission and within the vehicle are the things which I believe will contribute to the sustainability and improvements towards net zero.
And another factor that would also play a role is different form factors, more efficient, more optimized mobility options. So, which, for example, something like a pod, for example, and these are new emerging technologies are being demonstrated across. So, switch mobility in the switch mobility kind of portfolio. What are the kind of new form factors that you envision?
See, Sumantra, we have talked about 2 things during our double-decker launch in India, and also we are talking about double-deckers in the UK. One of the important thing we'll have to do is we'll have to bring the unit transportation footprint of an individual at a much lower, both in terms of carbon footprint and also look at the road footprint. Because most of the times we forget the amount of infrastructure to be created for an individual to travel in a car versus if somebody wants to take a public transport, and particularly if you look at the efficiency of a double decker, it's substantially better. Now, you are not talking about just moving carbon footprint, but the infrastructure needed to create so much roads and connectivity if cars are going to be there into the public transport. So our intention is to democratize zero carbon mobility, is to bring people from personalized vehicles to a public transport vehicle, which is more efficient, less carbon footprint, and which puts less pressure on the infrastructure to be built for the same number of people to be transported from one point to the other. So we'll have to work on multiple areas, and that's what we are doing. And our intention is to get all this public transport comfortable. So if you look at the double-decker EV double two, which we have launched in Mumbai with the electric and the AC, the intention is to bring the car consumers into the public transport in Mumbai so that he or she can comfortably travel what he or she expects in a car to be available in the public transport. Similarly, if you look at the double deckers in London, it's aimed towards bringing public into the transport, taking number of passengers more in the same footprint, so that the carbon footprint of per passenger travel is reduced, as well as the infrastructure need is reduced.
Okay, so Mahesh, it's been about close to a year since Switch Mobility, close to 2 years rather, since Switch Mobility started operations. You have set up base, I mean, in India, in Spain, and where you are now in Warwick, in the UK. If you look at over the next 5-year period, what is the kind of global play that you are kind of now working towards? And in terms of scale and in terms of presence, could you draw a picture for us?
So we have been in UK for a pretty long time, more than 10 years, and we want to come back to the number two or number one position within the top two bus manufacturers in this country. So we are working towards reviving our product portfolios, reviving the technologies to bring back where we are, like 10, 12 years back when we started earlier than anybody else. So the intention is to get back the UK market because the zebra funding has come out. There are some challenges on zebra funding last year, but I think the orders are coming now with electric buses and for public transport. So to revive the UK market is one of the intention. The second one is Europe is a very big market. So we'll have to look at Europe as a market. So we have set what I would say we did a groundbreaking ceremony for our plant in Spain. We believe Spain is one of the key center for EV technologies, and a lot of automobile talent is available, and government is supportive. So we are working around an European facility to build buses, which we believe the E1 bus, which we have shown in Paris and also in the other motor shows, is very well appreciated by our customers. It's a very unique 12-meter bus. We believe that will be primary products being sold in Europe. If we look at India, we are actually bringing back a lot of what I would say growth market products into India because we want to service Africa, Indonesia, maybe the growth market countries very similarly from a product which is made from a supply chain probably and also technically sound from India. So if you look at the synergy, technologically, both the E1 bus and the EV12 bus in India, powertrain and the whole battery, everything is about 70% common. So we are keeping the architecture common across the globe and building products or the hat, what we call as on top of it, very, very applicable to those customers. So we believe we'll get synergy and we believe we can build good products for our customers across the world. And our primary focus is going to be UK, Europe, and India.
Right. And 10 years of existence, as I said, and considering the Optare history, which is now, I mean, in a way, I mean, that the diesel part, the ICE part is history now. The UK bus market, I mean, which, as I said, will be priority for you to kind of revive your presence there. What's the bus market size, and what kind of share are you looking there?
The UK bus market typically an average of about 2,500 buses an annum. In the peak time, it went up to 3,000. I believe that it will come back to about 2,500 buses per annum. And right now, the electric bus is about between 500 to 1,000, depending upon the TFL order. We believe next year we are going to be upward of 800 is going to be the market. So we are going to actively play, and you know that we have a very good double deckers. We have a single deckers, which is Metro City and Metro Decker, and hence we will work on serving these markets. So we'll have to keep working on UK to get our market, and that's what we are doing.
As far as India is concerned, you mentioned about the role that double deckers can play in terms of reducing the carbon footprint of transportation. And in our last meeting here in Mumbai, after launching the first double decker, you had mentioned that you were in discussions with other cities also. Any progress on that front in terms of are you looking at rolling out your electric double decker in other cities in India as well?
Yes, I think Bangalore has released an expression of interest for double decker. Telangana has released an expression of interest for double deckers. There are quite a few players we are discussing where they are interested in the double deckers. So before even we add the first 200 on the road, I think there are many inquiries coming. I believe that when we had the first 100 on the road, when people see the difference in terms of collection, in terms of footprint, in terms of people travel, I think it will play a vital role in Indian urbanization. So we'll have to look at multiple ways. One of them is to how to reduce the carbon footprint. The second one is how to reduce the actual city footprint. I think double decker will play both the roles well.
And also, in one of our earlier meetings, you had mentioned about the plan for scaling up the Indian operations, and which would also include setting up a new plant. And that time you said that by around this time of the year, you would be forming up your plans. Have you taken any call on the new plant, the location, or the scale of it?
So there are two parts to it. We are very clear we need a facility for bus, and we need a facility for light commercial vehicle, where we are entering with the electrification of the Dost and Bada Dost. What we have done is within the group, we are looking at multiple assets. And instead of investing on a full-fledged grounds up plant, we are looking at, that's one of the important thing on carbon footprint. Right. So how do we utilize the existing facilities of, let's say, Ashok Leyland and the Intuja Group? And between the three, what best we can do between. So we are looking at rationalization of this. So if you look at it, we have a 10,000 square meters of bus bodybuilding as such with us. We are going to build a 10,000 square meter of for LCV facility for manufacturing, assembly, and dispatch of light commercial vehicle. Whether it will be within the Ashok Leyland existing facility shed, or we'll create a new shed, we'll have to come. That work is right now going on. No, we are looking at Hosur as a primary facility for light commercial vehicle. And right now we are at Ennur facility for our buses. And we'll continue till we are able to break even the number of building about 2,500 buses, and then we will look at another new facility if we need.
Okay, and what is the investment that would be required for these expansion plans?
That numbers are the same. In a 10-year period, we are talking about in a 5 to 8-year period, we are talking about 1,000+ crores of investment in facilities. That number, which in the last me and Dheeraj have talked about, is the same. Nothing has changed from those last discussions.
Right, and increasingly the automotive world is getting collaborative in nature. Collaboration is increasingly becoming the name of the game as the technology gets more and more kind of, as the whole industry gets more and more technology intensive and also capital intensive. So therefore, collaboration is almost becoming a kind of a norm or a necessity. So from that perspective, is Switch Mobility now looking at new collaborations wherein they could be win-win kind of arrangements?
Yeah, so already we have a strategic partnership with Dana, who is also an investor in Switch. So the powertrain technology is one of the best, and we have a tie-up with Dana to use their powertrain facilities. So we are also open to any partnerships. There are a lot of discussion. Can you buy from a cell manufacturer if it is going to be your competitor in India? We are happy to do that. I think the most important thing is it has to make economic sense for us. It has to make economic sense for our collaborator. The intention is to create value for all of them, looking at creating local jobs, either in Spain, UK, or India, and also creating value to our customers. So we are pretty open for any partnerships to collaborate.
Would you be open to partnering with another OEM maybe, be it India or
Yeah,
overseas?
if a proposal comes, we would not definitely shy away. We'll be happy to look at it with an open mind.
Okay. Mahesh, I mean, many of our viewers may not be aware that you are also an engineer who started off as a working on the powertrain division, if I'm not wrong. That too in Ashok Leyland, the parent company of Switch Mobility. It's kind of a full circle for you as well as you take a new role in Switch Mobility again, Ashok Leyland on subsidiary. Tell me, the on the ICE vehicle side, now the ICE powertrain, what is the life you expect for it? Let's say in this case, now that you have switched to commercial vehicles, on the commercial vehicle front, how long a kind of life you expect for the internal combustion engine?
This question have been asked many times. So, Sumantra, my view is uh, energy is an important element for any growth. So, if you look at India, China, many other countries, we are going at 7 to 8% a year, which is a very substantial growth. And energy plays a very important role, and transportation plays a very important role in this growth. Now, while I agree that sustainable mobility will keep going, I think IC engine is also improving. So if you look at IC engine, we are getting into multiple CNGs, ethanol, methanol. We are talking about hydrogen ICE now. There are multiple innovations going on. I think we should not discount any energy improvement in any sector, which is improving in efficiency, which is improving in, let's say, carbon footprint. We'll have to continue to do that because it is good for good for humanity and good for climate change. Betting everything on one and not doing anything on others is only make you risk. So while I have very high hopes that electric mobility is the future, and also you are seeing it already, it is not just the future, you are seeing it today, that many adoption in whether it is two-wheelers, three-wheelers, four-wheelers, public transportation, there is a substantial awareness among public, and also government is taking very critical steps to help adoption of electric vehicles. There is going to be a long journey. So if you look at 2030, we are talking about 30 plus adoption across the segment, in some of the segment 50 plus. So it's going to be a long journey. India has committed for a carbon neutral by 2070. Many European countries have committed to 2050. So each one of them are working towards a path which is carbon neutral, or in fact carbon costing beyond that. What shapes out, how energy figures out, we'll have to see beyond this period. So we'll have to work hard till such time to make sure that we continuously improve every technology to reduce carbon footprint.
Indeed, I think a technology agnostic approach is many learned people say that is what the right approach should be, a technology agnostic approach, with the key goal being reducing carbon neutrality and enhancing sustainability. Lastly, Mahesh, as you take on this new role, top three priorities that you have for yourself now that you're again, as I said, on the driver's seat.
Yeah, I think whatever we do, we'll have to serve the customer, and we'll have to make sure that we don't lose the focus of customer on the market, what it demands from us. So we'll have to continue to do that irrespective of which market we are in. So if you are in UK, Spain, and India and countries, the growing countries, we'll have to first serve the customer's narrative on what they want from it. How we do that is through net zero. Anything and everything we do, we'll make sure that we are improving step by step towards net zero. The third one is when we are doing all this, we'll have to do something large to the society. So we'll keep the society in mind in the places we are in. We'll engage with stakeholders and we will contribute to the society in which we are in to make them adopt sustainable practices and sustainable transportation in which we are in. And we'll continue to educate them and adapt them into new technologies which will lead to sustainability. So to be I think very three simple steps. One is customer, one is our commitment towards net zero, and the third one is to the society at large.
Indeed, I think with those goals, I think, I mean, we wish you and your team all the very best. And indeed, it's in fact, much of it should have taken place in the world in terms of reducing carbon footprint many years ago. But nonetheless, as they say, better late than never. So best wishes to you and to all the industry players from all of us at ET Auto. Thank you very much for this interesting conversation. Always a pleasure talking to you, Mahesh. Thank you and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Sumantha. Thank you very much for having me in the show.
Thank you. And thanks, viewers, for watching this interesting conversation with Mahesh Babu, the newly appointed global CEO of Switch Mobility. Take care and goodbye.